Join us on iPlanetpedia for the classic story of the fisherman and his wife. This timeless tale explores the themes of greed and contentment through the adventures of a humble fisherman and his ever-demanding wife. Once upon a time, in a small, humble village by the sea, there lived a poor fisherman named John and his wife, Martha. They resided in a rundown shack, barely making ends meet. Every day, John went out to sea to catch fish, while Martha tended to their meager household. One sunny morning, as John cast his net into the sparkling waters, he felt a strong tug. Pulling with all his might, he was astonished to find a large, beautiful fish glimmering in the sunlight. To his surprise, the fish began to speak. "Please, kind fisherman," the fish pleaded, "let me go. I am not an ordinary fish, but an enchanted prince. If you release me, I will grant you any wish you desire." John, although startled, was a kind-hearted man and could not bring himself to harm the magical creature. "Very well," he said, "I will let you go. I do not need any wishes." With that, he released the fish back into the sea and returned home, feeling happy with his good deed. When he told Martha about the magical fish, her eyes lit up with excitement. "John," she exclaimed, "why did you not ask for something? Go back and ask the fish for a better house. We cannot live in this shabby shack forever." Reluctantly, John returned to the shore and called out to the fish. The sea began to churn, and the fish appeared once more. "What do you wish for?" the fish asked. "My wife," John began hesitantly. "She desires a cozy cottage to live in." "Go home," said the fish. "Your wish is granted." When John returned, he was amazed to find a charming little cottage in place of their old shack. Martha was overjoyed, but it wasn't long before she grew discontented. "This cottage is too small," she grumbled. "We need a grander house. Go back and ask the fish for a castle." John, though unhappy with his wife's growing demands, went back to the sea. Once again he called to the fish, who appeared with the waves. "My wife now wishes for a castle," John said, feeling uneasy. "Go home," the fish replied. "Your wish is granted." To John's astonishment, a magnificent castle now stood where the cottage once was. Martha was thrilled, but her happiness was short-lived. Soon she wanted more. "John, I want to be queen. Go and ask the fish to make me queen." With a heavy heart, John returned to the sea. When the fish appeared, he made the request. "My wife wishes to be queen," John said, his voice heavy with regret. "Go home," the fish responded. "Your wish is granted." John returned to find Martha dressed in royal robes, seated on a throne in a grand palace. However, even this did not satisfy her. She wanted to be empress, then ruler of the entire world. Each time John went back to the fish, and each time the fish granted the wish. Finally, Martha demanded to be the ruler of the universe. John, dreading the outcome, returned to the sea and called the fish. "My wife wishes to be the ruler of the universe," he said quietly. The fish sighed deeply. "Go home, you will find her in the old shack again." When John returned, he saw their simple, run-down shack standing once more. Inside, Martha sat weeping, realizing the consequences of her greed. They had lost everything they had gained. From that day on, John and Martha lived modestly in their little shack by the sea. Martha learned to appreciate the simple joys of life, and John continued to fish, grateful for what they had. And so they lived out their days, understanding that true happiness comes not from endless desires, but from contentment with what you have.